Today we continue our road trip through South Dakota and visit a couple of other interesting sites as well. We drove through the cute town of Keystone, South Dakota on our way to Mount Rushmore. Keystone is a really cute touristy town with quaint shops, small bars, and restaurants. Soon we saw our first glimpse of Mount Rushmore. The park itself is free to enter, but you do have to pay to park. Cars are $10, and there are reduced rates for seniors and active duty military.
And here's the parking situation. You pay for it when you leave, and how to pay. Didn't I read where they used there's 90% dynamite to make it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's only just a couple of the finishing touches that they used for otherwise. I mean, that's phenomenal to think that much precision was into it.
The path to the viewing platform includes a flag from every U.S. state, plus each U.S. territory. The viewing platform provides a spectacular view of the 60-foot tall statues of the 4 U.S. presidents. In the amphitheater, park rangers put on programs focusing on the lives of the individual presidents and their impacts on the nation's history.
It's a lot closer and a lot higher than I thought it'd be, but it's big and it's pretty impressive.
While we visited, this park ranger gave a entertaining and informative 30-minute presentation about the life of George Washington.
George is our first president, and in his second term, he faces one of the most critical political crises he ever has to face. The French have gone to war. We have a debt of honor owed to the French for our freedom. More than that, we have a treaty of defense. But they picked a fight with the big kid on the block. They have gone to war with Great Britain. Can we take the heat? So, George is having a tough time making a decision, and he does what many of you would do. He calls his friends. We're going to go to the room where it happened and talk about the advice Alexander Hamilton gave. Have you seen that? Treat yourself if you haven't seen that musical Hamilton.
You know, when I look at things like this, I am in awe sometimes as to the ingenuity and the expertise that it takes to do something like this. And I mean, it took them 20-some years to complete this, and just the pure majesty of it when you get here and you look at something like this. And it's not just, you know, this it's not just Mount Rushmore. It's other things that we've seen on some of our trips that have just been spectacular. So now you pay here so that you don't have to do it when you get down to the bottom, and it saves time. Supposedly.
We were very impressed with our tour of Mount Rushmore and felt that it was a very worthwhile stop for anyone doing a road trip in the area. All right, we are headed out. We just left Mount Rushmore, and now we are headed down towards Keystone, but we're going to have one more stop before we call it a day. We're going to go to Custer State Park, and it's supposed to be some pretty beautiful views there. So here we go. Custer State Park is 71,000 acres in size and is located in the Black Hills of South Dakota. There are many things to do here, including camping, hiking, biking, swimming, fishing, or simply taking in the beauty of nature. The fee to visit the park is $20 per vehicle. We will leave a link in the description below so that you can check out the pricing and other things the park has to offer. As the day was winding down, we checked into our hotel in Keystone and then took a little bit of time to check out the town.
And I thought this was kind of cool. We crossed the street to come and see this, and there's Chug the train
1880 train
conductor, and then but there's this cool little water tower as well, and a little depot.
It's apparently a historic depot. Just looking at the creek. On this side, it looks more like a brook.
Mm-hmm. Is it babbling?
The next morning, we made our way towards the Crazy Horse Memorial. On our way, we came across an overlook which provided a fantastic side view of President Washington. Came around the corner and got a picture of George. It took about a half an hour to arrive at the Crazy Horse Memorial. The Crazy Horse Memorial is privately owned. The admission cost is $30 per vehicle. We will leave a link below in the description so you can get more information. Here we are at the Crazy Horse Memorial.
All right, we are at the Crazy Horse Welcome Center. About ready to go in.
Inside the Welcome Center is a museum, restaurant, and an educational center that focuses on the history of Native American tribes from around the continent. We learned at the information desk that you can take a bus that gets you closer to the base of the mountain for a better view. It costs $5 per person. The bus ride to the base of the memorial is about 5 minutes long.
Yes, young man.
Didn't you blast earlier today?
Nope. Haven't done it at all.
So we saw all sorts of dust coming off. This is they sawing?
Yes, they were cutting the rock up there on this back side back here. This morning they were actually throwing pieces about like that off. So they take it off little pieces at a time. We don't do this huge blast the size of this bus up there. It comes off in sections. You know what I'm saying?
Inside the museum, you can see a statue of what the monument will look like when it is completed. It will take many years to complete, as the only funding source is donations. Our next stop was Deadwood, South Dakota, a popular, historic Old West town. We arrived in time to see a reenactment of a gunfight that took place in 1877.
Those of you who don't know, Jack McCall is the fella that shot our friend Wild Bill Hickok inside the saloon number 10. He went on trial for that murder the very next day. And we finish off each of our days reenacting that trial right up here in the Wild Bill Theater, just above the Wild Bill Bar, which is actually the original location of saloon number 10 where Wild Bill was shot.
What do you say we knock off some of this trail dust and head on inside for a shot or two of that whiskey, huh?
I'm right there with you. They took a tidy sum from me, too.
Well, I'll make sure that back for you, eh? I promise you that.
Wait.
What?
Wait a minute. That can't be what I think it is. Jumping Jehoshaphat. It's Webb and his stage rocking boy.
Tiny help drive. And that's the way things really were back in Deadwood in 1877 when old Prescott Webb and the boys came to town. Thanks for being here, folks, and have yourselves a great Deadwood day.
And Madame Peacock's looks like the place you need to go if you are in the mood for buying a pair of boots and other assorted leather goods.
Let's go see what's in here. Join me.
I shall follow you.
Isn't that cool?
What is it? What are we doing?
The fitting room for this store is in the safe. Must have been an old bank. Deadwood itself is very touristy, but definitely worth your time. After spending the night in Deadwood, we crossed the border into Wyoming to visit Devil's Tower National Monument.
We are almost to Devil's Tower Monument. And as you can see, it's going to look pretty cool, I think.
Devil's Tower is a unique geological feature and is considered a sacred place by Northern Plains Indians.
So here is one legend
Oh, sorry.
of to how it became to be.
We started our hike going around the right side of the tower. we thought the front of the tower was a little more scenic than the backside. The tower features hundreds of parallel cracks, making it one of the finest rock climbing areas in North America. We saw many people climbing the tower during our visit.
And if you look right up in here, you'll see some climbers. I'll try and zoom in.
From this overlook, we saw many breathtaking views of the valley below. Overall, we really enjoyed our trip to Devil's Tower and encourage anyone to take the jump over into Wyoming to check it out.
So we just got done with walking around Devil's Tower, and it says it's about 1.5 miles around. But bear in mind,
there's a couple trails. The shortest one is 1.5 miles.
Yeah, there's another one that's like 2.8 miles, and it's a little more rugged. But even the one we were on, just an FYI, it's paved, but it's a lot of up and down, and there's still like little bumps and stuff. So you got to watch that.
Great view, beautiful pictures. We really enjoyed it. Had a good time.
Yeah, and you don't pay coming in, but you pay going out, which is a little odd because we're stuck in this long line of traffic now to get out. And it's I think it's going to run us about $25 because it says
it's $25 a car
for the cars. So
on our way out of the park, we saw some adorable prairie dogs, and of course Chris had to go film them. Our last major stop on this road trip was in North Dakota at the Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
So we are here at Theodore Roosevelt National Park in western North Dakota. And here's a little glimpse of the southern part of the park.
The Visitor Center features many historical artifacts and movies on the life of Theodore Roosevelt and his time here in North Dakota. Lower the park side.
Dun, 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 dun. So we just got done watching the movie on Theodore Roosevelt, and the one thing that I did not know was that he came here after his wife died in childbirth, and his mother died of typhoid, I think it was, and they both died on the same day. So he was pretty distraught and came here for refuge.
Behind the Visitor Center is the Maltese Cross Cabin, where Theodore Roosevelt stayed from 1883 to 1884. We decided to take in the scenery on some of the 100 miles of foot and horse trails found within the park. The overlooks are a great place to stop and see some of the scenery as well as the many animals found within the national park. On our way out of the park, we got stuck in a small traffic jam caused by these wild horses that had come ambling by. It was really exciting to see them so close up. We really enjoyed our great American Western road trip and hope to do it again in the future. Our national parks are a treasure and should be enjoyed by all. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you are able to see where we will be wandering to next.